organic, unpredictable, unknown, lovely, beautiful, a sense of fulfillment. This is part of the pleasures of life and not the chores of life.
Coming up on Daily Iowan TV, Caucusing Hawkeyes. Find out what students thought was a hot topic in Des Moines on Tuesday.
In overcrowded hallways, see what's in store for the Iowa City School District.
It was a big night in the Big Apple for the Hawkeyes. We have NIT coverage coming your way in sports.
All that and much more is coming your way next.
Your Wednesday edition of Daily Iowan TV starts now.
I'm Tom Brokaw. For more than 100 years now, the University of Iowa community has been waking up to the Daily Iowan. Today, it's the largest newsroom in eastern Iowa. And now you can see the news every night on Daily Iowan TV and get it anytime worldwide at dailyiowan.com.
Thanks for tuning in to your Wednesday edition of Daily Iowan TV. I'm Anna Theodosis.
And I'm Iowan Simic.
University of Iowa students took the opportunity to lobby state legislators Tuesday. Students used the Hawkeye Caucus event at the Iowa State Capitol in Des Moines to push tuition reform. Daily Iowan TV's Whitney Blakemore went to Des Moines to cover the caucuses.
The Hawkeye Caucus Day is a way to bring a slice of Iowa City to the Des Moines Capitol. The rotunda was packed full with university organizations and students, all to promote the University of Iowa's goals and mission to legislators.
And it's really about celebrating what the University of Iowa is not only doing on campus in Iowa City, but across the state.
All 11 colleges from the University of Iowa are represented here today. Also, over 75 students are here talking to their legislators, mainly about tuition freeze. The State Board of Regents voted to approve a tuition freeze for Regent universities in December 2012 for the next school year. But with the tuition revenue loss, the Regents asked legislators to appropriate $40 million. With this budget request not passed by the Senate yet, students drove home the issue and asked for support face-to-face.
Me and my colleague Scotty Hendricks, we went around and we met with Senator Breitbach and Representative Roger Thomas, and discussed with them that our thanks for the tuition freeze.
And while the students talked, the legislators listened.
I think the number one issue is the tuition freeze and adequately funding our universities to keep up our quality education. And each one of the students that I've talked to today knows the issue, knows the background, and puts together a pretty good argument in why we should fully fund the universities.
While the main talk was about money, representatives spoke to officials about all the university has to offer.
I just met with Sally Mason and just discussing with her ways to attract students, and then when they leave on how to stay at Iowa, and just really promoting the quality of the education that the University of Iowa gives to people.
Whitney Blakemore, Daily Iowan TV.
If the appropriations request is approved, the board will be able to freeze tuition for the next academic year for the first time in more than 30 years.
After many discussion debates and even a failing vote, plans for the proposed Justice Center went through another public hearing. The Johnson County Board of Supervisors held a public hearing Wednesday night at the Johnson County Courthouse to give members of the public another chance to voice their opinions about the proposed center. The hearing follows a Criminal Justice Coordinating Committee meeting that focused on overcrowding problems at the current jail. The initial plan for a new Justice Center failed to pass during an election in November of last year. Read more about the hearing in Thursday's edition of the Daily Iowan.
Officials at the Iowa City School District are getting more than they initially bargained for when it comes to school enrollment. A recent report done by Tracy Richer shows school enrollment has increased by nearly 1,900 students in the past 10 years. Another report released last month found both West and City high schools are operating over capacity. Enrollment at almost all of the 19 elementary schools is over capacity as well. Richer told the Daily Iowan, quote, "Enrollment remains over 100% across the board. That's not something you see every day," end quote. And looking ahead, according to the Board of Education's agenda from Tuesday night's meeting, enrollment is expected to jump by approximately 3,000 more students in the next 10 years.
And still to come on Daily Iowan TV, see how one Iowa City group is trying to educate students and residents on the importance of living sustainability.
And later, the football team gets prepared for spring ball coming up in sports.
But first, let's go back to our own Whitney Blakemore for a look at our weather forecast. What can we expect in the coming days, Whitney?
Well, Giovanna, it looks like we have some nice temperatures to look forward to. Thursday morning will greet us with a full sun and a high of 29 degrees. By the afternoon, temps will rise up to the mid-50s with the sun staying out. And believe it or not, Thursday night will bring us a high of 58 degrees and partly cloudy skies. Now looking ahead for the rest of the week, Friday will bring us a high of almost 60 degrees and partly cloudy skies. On Saturday, expect a few showers with a high of 65 degrees. The rain will clear and the clouds will roll in on Sunday with a high of 59. Monday and Tuesday will bring back the rain along with temps hovering around the mid-50s and low 60s. And well, guys, finally it looks like the warmer weather is here. That's all I have for tonight. Anna, Giovanna, back to you at the desk.
And Eco Iowa City kicked off Wednesday night at the East Side Recycling Center. The program aims to address environmental issues and will teach residents how to live more sustainable lives. Eco Iowa City's environmental education will focus on food, water, energy, and consumption. The new program builds on models from the initial 2009-2010 series, but will include all areas and communities served by the Iowa City Landfill and Recycling Center. The next event takes place on Saturday with the East Side Recycling Center open house and a talk by UI Geoscience Professor Art Bettis. Eco Iowa City events will continue through April.
The University of Iowa student government held its presidential debate on Wednesday night as a part of the 2013 election. House Party presidential candidate Catherine Valdez and Toga Party presidential candidate Aaron Horsfield answered about 10 questions on their party's platforms. UI professors David Gould and Mitch Kelly moderated the debate. The vice presidential debate will take place on Monday, April 8th. The winning party will be chosen on Friday, April 12th. We will have full coverage of the event in Thursday's newscast.
And now let's take a look at what is happening outside of Iowa City. A Montana federal judge will retire after an investigation into an email he sent that included a racist joke about President Barack Obama. U.S. District Judge Richard Siebold previously said he would step down as Chief Circuit Judge and would take a reduced caseload. However, he said he will retire on May 3rd. His decision comes after the Judicial Council issued an investigation into the email he sent with racist comments.
Officials from Pentagon said Wednesday they will deploy a missile defense system to Guam to strengthen the region's protections against a possible attack from North Korea. Deployment of the defense system is the latest step the U.S. has taken to countering a North Korean threat. The Pentagon said the system will boost defenses for American citizens in Guam and U.S. forces stationed there. Defense Secretary Chuck Hagel said North Korea's recent rhetoric is, quote, a real clear danger and threat to the U.S. and Asia-Pacific regions.
And Rutgers University has fired basketball coach Mike Rice after a video circulated showing him throwing basketballs at players and using gay slurs. A statement issued by school president Robert Barkey said, quote, abusive language and actions are deeply offensive and violate the university's core values, end quote. So, Giovanna, did you catch the basketball game last night?
Yes, it was definitely exciting. I'm glad the Hawkeyes won, and after not being able to go to the NCAA tournament, I think they can make it all the way in the NIT.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's hope our Hawkeyes can also win the game Thursday night. And for more in sports, let's toss it over to Eric Dawn.
Hello and welcome to a Big City special tonight in sports. The basketball team took down Maryland to advance to the NIT finals, and the football team prepares for spring practice. But let's jump right to the big news. The Iowa men's basketball team took center stage last night in the Mecca of basketball, Madison Square Garden, for the NIT semifinals. Fran McCaffrey's bunch picked up right where they left off in Virginia by defeating future Big Ten foe Maryland. New York's own Melsan Basabi had a huge dunk early in the first half. Devin Marble once again had that smooth jumper working, pouring in 21 points. Eric May had a fantastic game at both ends of the floor, playing like a man who doesn't want his career to end quite yet. The Hawkeyes win once again by double digits, 71-60. They advanced to Thursday night's championship game against Baylor. Our very own Ian Martin was courtside last night as the Hawks took down the Terps. Let's send it back out to the Garden for more.
The always busy Madison Square Garden will host the Iowa Hawkeyes on Thursday night as they will face Baylor after defeating Maryland. Now they're converting the floor to ice here for the Rangers on Wednesday night, but the Hawkeyes turned up a lot of heat in the Garden on Tuesday. After Maryland jumped out to a 4-0 lead, Iowa really jumped back into the game, got up 11-4, and never led by less than 2 possessions for the rest of the game. And mostly, it was up to Devin Marble and Eric May, the captains, to secure a win in the Big Apple.
Give Iowa credit. Iowa was great tonight. They made plays, they made free throws, they made big shots when they had to make it. They were ready to play.
It was a great all-around team performance for the Hawkeyes last night. Marble and May did their things in the backcourt, and the front court, especially Adam Woodbury, defended 7-footer Alex Len to perfection. For more analysis of last night's game and a look ahead to Thursday's final with Baylor, let's send it over to Annie Constable and Kate Constable standing by at Carver Hawkeye Arena.
Freshman playing against a guy of that nature who is expected to be a lottery pick in this draft obviously had to be a tough one for Woodbury.
Yeah, and I mean, Lynn had his points. He got his stats. He had 16 points, 9 rebounds, and 6 blocks. So he was very effective in this game and did a lot for his team. But what Woodbury was able to do was just influence how Lynn was playing, kind of push him around a little, put a body on him.
Bug him a little bit.
Exactly, and make it difficult for him to do the things that he wanted to do. It was harder for him to rebound both on the offensive and defensive end, and just kind of flustered him a little.
And similar to Alex Lynn is Isaiah Austin, who now Woodbury is going to be matched up against in the NIT championship game. How do you expect him to match up against Austin?
Yeah, I mean, that's right, Isaiah Austin. He's very similar to Lynn, but I think this past game was good practice for Woodbury, and he proved that he can play against those guys and be a part of them. If he plays the same way he did on Tuesday night, I don't see why Austin would be a problem for Woodbury or the Hawkeyes as a whole. He just needs to be physical and do what he's been doing all season.
And along with Austin, there are obviously other threats on the Baylor squad. Who does this Hawkeye team need to prepare for?
Well, Pierre Jackson is someone that they are going to have to look for the entire game. They're going to have to know where he is on the court at all times. He had 24 points, 10 rebounds for a double-double in their game against BYU, and he can do everything. He can shoot, he can drive, he can get to the basket, and he's a player that if the Hawks don't match up with him and don't find him on the court, he could be trouble.
All right, well, that matchup again is Thursday evening. Wrapping up this report from Carver Hawkeye Arena, I'm Annie Constable.
And I'm Kate Constable.
Don't get it confused, guys. Back to you in the studio.
Lost in the buzz of Iowa's NIT run is the start of spring football practice. After a rough ending to last season, the Hawkeyes are looking for a fresh start. And with several changes on the coaching staff, they have just that.
They're probably not only the wide receivers, but their group as a whole. They're probably a little embarrassed about last year. And what I've seen out of these guys thus far is that they want to fix it. And that, once again, excites me because I do think that there's a commitment here, that there's a real strong passion, and that these guys have a willingness to want to be coached and to improve every day.
Phil Parker is a great guy, and he's a football guy. I mean, he tells me what to do, and I do it. And you're not going to find a better man or coach in America as an assistant coach than Reese Morgan. Absolutely tremendous, and another football guy.
Optimism is certainly running high for the Iowa football program. That's all I have for you tonight in sports. Be sure to tune in tomorrow night for more NIT and spring football coverage, as well as all the late-breaking news in Hawkeye athletics. Anna, Giovanna, back to you at the desk.
And only with Daily Iowan TV can you get a sneak peek into Thursday's pages of the Daily Iowan. Read about the progress of marriage equality in Iowa after its legalization 4 years ago.
And find out more about the impact of the UI Summer Tuition Scholarship.
That's your latest edition of Daily Iowan TV. You can check us out tomorrow at the same time or anytime online at dailyiowan.com.
Thanks for watching and have a great night.